It's been 480 days since Sean Grayson shot Sonya Massey on July 6th, 2024. Today, a Peoria County jury finds Grayson guilty of second-degree murder. We have full team coverage tonight on that verdict. Karen Eisert and Carly Bronkema are outside the Peoria County Courthouse. Jacob Gordon is standing by in studio. Let's get out to Karen and Carly in Peoria. Guys, you were both there when that verdict was read. What was the reaction inside the courtroom when Grayson was found guilty?
Yeah, Ben, good evening. You know, a lot of reactions coming in, especially today, but, you know, especially from Grayson himself. He sort of just sat there, very stoic, did not show any emotion, but did look back at his family. Now, jury of 12 people convicted him of second-degree murder. Now, there were three options they could pick from. That was first-degree murder, second-degree murder, or they could have quit him. And so it was a jury comprised of 9 white women, 2 white men, and 1 black man. And it took them, if you count yesterday and today together, a little over 11 hours to convict him of second-degree murder. Now, where did we come at in this case? Well, you know, the state really started off strong. They talked to jurors and had witnesses on the stand talking about how Sonya was a victim in all of this and how she was just the one to call for help, and she wasn't there to threaten him in any way. And at one point, the pathologist taking the stand saying that if Sonya Massey could have had medical attention sooner, there could have been a possibility that she could still be alive. And that was a testimony that kind of took a lot of us back in the courtroom as we heard it read aloud. So a lot of emotions, especially as that body camera video played out for jurors. It was dead silent in that courtroom when that body camera video was played, and you could see all of those jurors just watching so intently, watching so closely, and just keeping their ears towards that monitor. Now, when it came time for the defense, they really came through hitting. They wanted to make sure that jurors understood that Grayson was the one who was under attack. They brought 2 experts to the stand. Those were 2 law enforcement experts, and both of those experts said that he did everything right, that exactly what had happened was Sonya had put the pot up as if she was going to throw it, and that's when Grayson fired his gun. And so they said that he was the one that was under attack, specifically when she brought that pot up. Now, Grayson, as we all were shocked, walked into the witness box and gave his testimony. He walked jurors through exactly what he said happened in those early morning hours inside Sonya Massey's home. He said that he felt threatened by her, specifically when she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And so the jury comes back today with second-degree murder. Now, alongside me in the courtroom, WAND's Carly Bronkema. We've been following this case since Monday with jury selection and then walking through everything. And Carly, you've been able to get reaction from the family. Talk to me about how they're feeling tonight.
I mean, that tension was palpable as we awaited the verdict. 12 hours of deliberation where people were pacing outside the courtroom, pacing in other courtrooms, just trying to figure out what would come back. And as that verdict was read, people held their breaths. They waited to hear if this was going to be first-degree murder, second-degree murder, or an acquittal. When second-degree was read, sobs started on both sides of the courtroom, both Grayson's family and the Massey family reacting to what they had heard. Overall, the Massey family said they did not get justice and shared some of their thoughts with us.
My Judeo-Christian upbringing tells me to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So my joy here today is that I know I'll see my baby again. And whenever the sun opens and Gabriel blows that horn, we're going to leave here and I'll see her again.
Overall, we heard a lot from the family, a lot of frustration and anger, saying that second-degree murder is a compromise, that this is not justice, and fear that Grayson is not going to get the maximum sentence for this charge. And while that's not what they were hoping for, they're hoping at this point at sentencing to at least get the minimum here. They do not want Grayson to walk out of jail, although they're afraid that may be the reality coming very soon. Karen, an overall emotional and tense day in court today. and as we've gone through the trial over the last 10 days.
Absolutely, Carly. And as you mentioned with that sentencing, a second-degree murder carries a sentence between 4 and 20 years. And that is a probation-eligible sentence as well. And Grayson's going to be sentenced in January. And as we stand outside the courthouse, a lot of the crowd has left now. But there's been a lot of people out here outside this courthouse every single day. Carly described to me kind of their emotion outside of it.
I mean, today, even just, we were some of the first people who left the courtroom after the verdict was read, and it was devastation among these people. A lot of frustration that a lot of this work that they had been doing, they had been hearing attorneys doing, was just not enough. And they're just seeing these disparities that they're really frustrated about within the legal system. Even Sonya's cousin, Sante, today said, this is now going to be his life's work, fixing the injustice within the system, both the legal system and the policing system, and just wishing that more could have been done after this happened.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be looking towards that sentencing date coming up at the end of January. For Carly Bronkema, I'm Karen Iser. Guys, back to you in the studio.